Hi lovelies, welcome back to another interesting tutorial. Today I'll be showing you guys how I made this lovely nursing maxi wrap dress for breastfeeding mothers. The goal is to be comfortable breastfeeding while you're out and about, and this maxi dress is just perfect because you don't have to worry about getting your dress undone while you're feeding. In fact, this dress is stylish enough to wear to any event, so whether you're out with friends or attending a formal occasion, you look beautiful and comfortable breastfeeding in this dress. Stay tuned and don't forget to like, share with friends, and subscribe. To draft our wrap top pattern, as usual, I'll first of all draw a straight line which will serve as my shoulder line, and this line here will serve as my fold line. After which, I'll be marking down 17.5 inches, which is the length of my back pattern plus allowance. That is, my length is 16 inches plus half-inch shoulder joining allowance and 1 inch allowance for joining the top to the down part of the dress, making it 17.5 inches. At this point from the shoulder, I'll be marking down my vertical measurement, my bust point, which is 12 inches, and then my under bust, which is 15 inches, before going ahead to connect my dots. On this shoulder line, I'll be imputing my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half-inch joining allowance. Then I'll drop this point by 1 inch, creating my shoulder slant. The neckline is 4 inches wide and 2 inches deep. I'll then connect my dots using my curve ruler and also create the slant like so. Next is to mark my chest line, which is 10 inches from the shoulder, and I'll be marking that down here. And then I'll be connecting it upwards with a curve to meet my shoulder slants, creating my armhole curve like so. After doing that, I'll be imputing my horizontal measurement, which is my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2-inch allowance. The allowance can be increased or decreased depending on how fitted you want it to be. On the waistline, I also impute my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2-inch allowance. I'll just go ahead and label it down and then cut out. After cutting the back piece, I went ahead to introduce a fresh pattern paper that we'll use to cut out the front piece. I'll then place the back piece on here and ensure that the center back faces the area where there is enough allowance, so that you have enough room to cut out the wrap for the front. Once I'm done taping that down, I'll go ahead and cut around the armhole, the side, and the length. Everything is basically the same apart from the front. Now let's proceed to draft the wrap. To get the front depth, that is the opening on the chest, from the neckline, you place a tape like this and then mark down 7 inches. You can go deeper depending on how revealing you want the wrap to be. On this waist part, we'll measure 7 inches right from the center back like so, and then go up by 2 inches. That is 1 inch to join the up to the down part of the dress and the other 1 inch for the belt. From the shoulder point, that is here, we'll slant down, passing through the 7-inch on the neck depth down to meet the 2-inch point like you see me do here. I'll then go ahead to remove my back piece from the wrap so I can cut it out. After cutting it out, I realized I didn't slant the shoulder, so I went ahead to bring back my back piece to place it here and cut out the shoulder slant like so. And these are my two pieces. This is the fold line for the back, and for the front piece I'm going to be cutting 2 of them for the 2 sides. Going over to my sleeves, we'll be drafting a balloon sleeve with the length being 24 inches. That's what I have here. Next, I'll be determining the sleeve cap height, which is 4 inches, and after ruling that out, I'll measure my armhole on my drafted pattern, and whatever I have there, I'll be transferring it to the sleeve. And here I have 11 inches. Next thing, I'll mark down how wide I want my sleeves to be. It all depends on your preference, but here I'm making mine 11 inches. After marking that out, we're going over to the sleeve cap height, and here I'll make a slant like so, and then mark down the middle point. At that marked point, I'll come up by ½ inch and then make a curve like so. That is basically it for our balloon sleeve. And don't forget that this pattern should be cut on fold. I'll just write that down here so I don't forget while cutting on my fabric. I went ahead to transfer my pattern to the fabric we'll be sewing with. I cut 2 sleeves on fold. I'll place that aside for now. I also folded my fabric into 2 to cut 2 sides of my wrap. You have to actually fold it into 2, guys. Don't try to cut them separately, else you might cut same faces and that can be a loss. After placing my pattern here, I'll just cut them accordingly. Remember, I added my allowances while drafting, so you don't have to add any more. As you can see, I have my 2 sides of wrap beautifully placed like so. Going over to my back, remember I said to cut on fold. This pattern is actually for a wrap top, but since we're making this dress for nursing mothers and only one side of the wrap is going to be opened, we'll be adding a zip to this outfit. So it totally skips my mind while cutting on the actual fabric. So guys, you have to add a zipper allowance while cutting on the fabric. You could add like 1 inch or 1.5 inches for zipper allowance. After that, I will be cutting the 2 sides of my back pattern on fold like so. Every other thing is basically the same. Going over to the down part of my dress, I'll take the shorter side of my fabric and fold in an angular manner like this. Ensure that it is neatly placed to get an accurate cutting. After that, I'll be imputing the radius, which is my waist measurement divided by 3.14. That's because I'll be cutting 2 of these to join together to make one flare. After marking down my radius, from that line, I'll determine how long I want the skirt to be. Another way to get the length, you could subtract the half length from the total gown length, and that will give you the skirt length. Now that I'm done marking that down, I'll be cutting out across these lines I've made here. This fabric is really slippery, so I need all supports to hold it down in place. I'll also move this up so you can see what I'm cutting. Cutting across the radius line and also across the length. I'm leaving everything as it is. Like I said earlier, I'll be cutting 2 of these. So just like I did for the first, I'll take the shorter side of my fabric and fold in an angular manner like this. Then I'll place the first one we just cut on top of it and cut exactly the same thing. After that, I'll remove one of the skirts and place aside while I make an opening for zipper allowance on just one of it. And that is it, guys. If you find this video interesting and you would love to see more of the making of these outfits, drop a yes in the comment section, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.